Hello, dear friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is news time again from this very good channel. Welcome back. How are you all doing? Hope you're good. I pray that God will be with you in your endeavors. Today, we have another update for you. And I want you to, after listening to it, you drop your opinion and suggestions you have so that Biafra will be free. And that's just it. Okay, let's go there. Now I want you to pay attention to the narration of the Zoological Republic against Nnamdi Kanu. You know, the way Nigeria works when it comes to dealing with Igbo people is not the same way it works when it comes to dealing with Yoruba people or Fulani or Hausa people, because actually generally everybody knows that Nigeria is not working. If they are working, there won't be much criminality in Nigeria. There won't be this kidnapping, there won't be this terrorism, there won't be this theft in government and every other thing. But because of animosity of Igbos must not prevail, we must stop them. Biafra must not come. That is why when they see Igbo matter, they put eye in water to search and know what to do. Have you not reasoned it that way? Ndi Igbo, stop aiding Nigerian government in any way, in any capacity you are. Don't aid them to stop your people. Just imagine what they are narrating concerning how they tracked Nnamdi Kanu in 2015. Even this time around, they were accused of kidnapping him. What they are saying, I want you to pay attention to this news.
2015, we were sent on a mission with my team to arrest Nnamdi Kanu at the Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos. He went with his team to the hotel, but the hotel management would not allow them, as the management claimed they didn't have any guest by the name Nnamdi Kanu. But the DSS director of operations ordered a room-to-room search to be conducted in the hotel. The extraction team went back to the hotel, met the manager, and told them the instructions they got from the DSS leader. They were then told that the suspect, Nnamdi Kanu, was in room 303, that is Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, 2015, when he was arrested. Okay? At first, Nnamdi Kanu resisted arrest upon approaching his room, but Bolaji, a member of the team, spoke to him mildly and he calmed down. Subsequently, his belongings, including his broadcasting items, were confiscated and taken to the command. When we got to his hotel room, the room looked like a broadcasting studio with microphones. We left with him to the command office in Lagos, where the items we got from him were listed on a sheet of paper. Nnamdi Kanu confirmed the items were his. So after the video interview, my boss asked me to take Nnamdi Kanu in for a written statement, which I did. Nnamdi Kanu wrote his statement, signed and thumbprinted on it. The time was around 12 a.m. Look at the time. 12 a.m. Not 12 p.m. 12 p.m. is in the afternoon. 12 a.m. is early in the morning. So let's say the time of arrest was around 10-11. So if DSS won't arrest you now night, early morning time, now they come. Just understand, EFCC, DSS, all these police security agencies, when they want to arrest you, they will come unawares. So a witness was brought in court that they arrested Nnamdi Kanu in Lagos, Golden Tulip Hotel, with broadcasting equipment. Why are we having this witness in court at this point in time? The federal government wants to establish a jurisdiction, a ground, to nail Nnamdi Kanu, to confirm him guilty. Remember, most of the broadcasts Nnamdi Kanu made was in the UK. How did Nnamdi Kanu come into Nigeria? That is the bone of contention. It is alleged that the federal government kidnapped him from Kenya into Nigeria. So the fight now is, you cannot try me, because the way I came into this country, this court, as a federal government, you performed an illegal act by kidnapping me or by seizing me from Kenya. You did not go through the normal process of rendition, like what they are doing with Simon Ekpa. So the federal government wants to establish that this guy, he did his broadcast in Nigeria. But remember, 2015 and when he was arrested, there are 2 different years. 2015, when a bail of, I think, 100 million was, before the army went to, after he was bailed, he was arrested 2015, a bail condition was met by Senator Abari Bey, 100 million naira shorty and what have you. Then all of a sudden, Nigerian army went to his place. People died. They shot and killed people. He escaped because of the act of the Nigerian army, and he was in UK. Now that he was arrested, the broadcast he was doing whatsoever was in UK. But now the Nigerian government wants to establish that this current allegation, because most of the allegation against Nnamdi Kanu was the things he said in UK. So they want to establish that he did a broadcast in Lagos, Nigeria. They brought a witness. Let's see how it goes. But there's one thing that is very, very factual. Nnamdi Kanu is in prison. Igbos are in prison. Or is in DSS custody. Igbos are in DSS custody. Whatever trial you're going to carry out on Nnamdi Kanu, it is a trial you carry on Igbo people. Because as we speak now, we don't have leaders in the southeast. We only know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. See, it's not about sentiment, or we are not stupid. We understand where our destiny lies. Over the years, over the months, I've been talking about change of system. And if there's a Biafra today, the system is going to change. Nnamdi Kanu has been consistent in his ideals on wanting a better Nigeria. If you're thinking he is a terrorist or he was violent or whatever you have it, my brother, you see politicians, the Nigerian government, their leadership has led to the death of hundreds of thousands of Nigeria. Failure in leadership. Who is going to hold them responsible for the hunger, for the death of Nigerians? What right do they have? What morality do they have? I'm talking of Nigerian government. To try anybody. They steal, they kill, they destroy. What morality do they have to try anybody and say somebody is a terrorist? Somebody called these our leaders ruiners. So whatever you think about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I want to tell you one thing. I've said is that the system given to us by these colonial masters can never work for us. Okay, we are fighting for one Nigeria. Since 1960, we are fighting for one Nigeria. We have the issue of some people in United States, Britain, controlling our destiny. I know all these attacks against Nnamdi Kanu is carefully orchestrated by the Fulani hegemony, Fulani jihadist Islamic movement, and Britain. They are one of the persons that never want Nnamdi Kanu to come out. They never want restructuring. They never want anything to happen to their beloved Nigeria, their beloved project, their investment. What is Nigeria? Let me ask you a question. What is Nigeria? What language do Nigerians speak? You say English. Do I look like English to you? Look at my face. Do I look like English to you? That's why I said I'm supporting a Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, to restructure Nigeria. Because what we need is restructuring, so that we can be free from the grip of the Fulani, the grip of these colonial masters and imperialists. Then when we are free, we can be able to chart a course, a path for ourselves. Under this mere geographical expression, we cannot chart a path for ourselves. We are still slaves. Look at Ibrahim Traore. Somebody is using the gold of his country, his own country, gaga. Another country, thousands of miles away, is angry that I'm using my money to feed my family. Whether I embezzle it or not, it is my money. I'm using it for myself and my family. Somebody else is angry and say, my brother, If Nnamdi Kanu, if the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to play the hanky-panky, but I know that he's using Nnamdi Kanu for politics. That one is my own perception, my opinion, my speculation. I know he's using Nnamdi Kanu for politics. He would not want to release Nnamdi Kanu. They will be playing up and down. You see, they are looking for a way to nail him, that he did that broadcast in Nigeria. While, if you look at it very well, whatever broadcast or whatever things they are accusing him of, the jurisdiction is in the UK. And how would they run it? They will have to go and return him back to the UK. That is what they will do. Return him back to the UK, try him in the UK, and the UK government will extradite him to Nigeria. But the Nigerian government under Buhari went and kidnapped, whether you call it kidnap, seized, or took him away from Kenya without due process. A government does not follow due process, and you want to try the person in a court of law. In a justice system, the government did not follow due process. You went and kidnap, or you seize, or whatever you do to the person forcefully without following due process. You are wanting to try that person. No wonder it is impossible, near impossible, to be able to convict Nnamdi Kanu. It is impossible, like near impossible, except the government want to disgrace itself finally. Except the government want to be plain that there's no justice at all, no strand of justice. Because you see, this justice, they are trying to. The Sun is saying that those people sitting don't have the jurisdiction to try Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu, all things being equal, he wouldn't have been there in the first place. He wouldn't have been there in the first place. How did I get here? I was kidnapped. They put something in my head and took me. If you are going to carry me, the Kenyan government need to go through the other processes, agreements here and there. Before they look at Samanekpa, look at what's happening in Samanekpa. The Finland government have to try him in Finland. If they try him, he is found guilty, then the process of extradition, that is the normal process. The same thing happened to Nnamdi Kanu. If you watch Nnamdi Kanu, he has been changing lawyers upon lawyers upon lawyers. We know that there are saboteurs and betrayers amongst our Igbo brothers. We know that the Southeast governors are working with some IPOB members or people who want Biafra, so that this man will not come out. This man resonates with the people of the Southeast. There was a time Nnamdi Kanu gave conditions of him dropping Biafra agitation. It was after that time he gave conditions, they started attacking him, his home and everything. It was after that time he gave conditions. I've talked about the conditions before. It seems the Southeast governors are one of the main people. After Fulani and Britain, the Southeast governors are another set of people that don't ever want this guy to come out from the DSS custody. And it's going to be very difficult for Tinubu to run that package like that. Because he himself, say, when something favor you, you could just agree with them. Nnamdi Kanu being in custody favors Tinubu's government. Because if Fulani want to turn to mad people, want craze, if they want craze finally, I'm at Dagweru, they will scatter everything. They may be hearing release Nnamdi Kanu, okay, let's divide. And that's one thing the Fulani does not want. We are asking the federal government, the government of Nigeria, there's a tomorrow. What you do with today is very important. Release Nnamdi Kanu, release him to at least save face of the justice system in Nigeria. All this hanky-panky we are playing, this front and back, left and right we are playing, it makes us so unserious. So much unserious. It makes us look. This is like another demarketing Nigeria. It's not that one they were accusing P2B. Someone was accusing P2P of demarketing Nigeria. I saw a video of where Mark Zuckerberg came into Nigeria with Kunle Afolayan. They took light. Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest persons in the world, came to Nigeria. If you see the way the guy they look like say Man, he was breathing twice as fast as he's supposed to breathe. They never take light to the guy, they roju, they look up and down. They can't take light. What you call remain? They can't take light. Waiting can't remain. I say this is Nigeria, it's normal. So the justice system, if they don't release Nnamdi Kanu, they are demarketing Nigeria the more. They are demarketing Nigeria the more. Look at Nnamdi Kanu's response to the justice. Justice Shoho, I only propagate for the rights and betterment of my people, not engaging in violence incitement. I only propagate for the rights and betterment of my people, not engaging in violence incitement. Most times, as an agitator, democracy might not be a good system for you to agitate, because democracy is a scam. Should be IPOB try democracy now. Mind you, IPOB is not the only group that agitates for Biafra in the southeast. We have many other groups like MASOP. Many, at least I know many other groups. So don't think IPOB is the face of Biafra. IPOB is a group agitating. Other groups are there that are agitating for Biafra. So when IPOB was using placards and all have you to like speak to the government of the day and let their voice be heard with placards, democratic style, democratic system style, the government just, I don't know what happened that day. They carried their gun, defenseless civilians, they gunned them down. Under Buhari's regime, they gunned them down. So most time it is revolution that works, not democracy. We have the French Revolution, we have the British Revolution, the American Revolution. Revolution. In USSR, there's revolution. It's a revolution that changed system and changed society. It's not democracy. Democracy is just a tool to suppress you, to control you. See, democracy, you cannot protest. There's a controlled opposition. The ruling power and them, they control opposition. The same thing happened with the IPOB. They infiltrated the IPOB. They scatter it from inside. All of a sudden, this one accusing, I accuse you, you accuse me, you accuse everybody. I've told you, there's one person I respect so much. That person is Nnamdi Kanu. The federal government should know what he will do. Okay. Now, when they arrested Nnamdi Kanu, they took 4 bags from him. And that bags were unveiled in court. With what they took for him, did not see any gun. Did not see anything. But yet, they charge him for terrorism because he's inciting people against the government. Of course, that is a charge the government will put forth to him. The case has been adjourned to the 2nd of May to resume trial. The representatives of Nnamdi Kanu, the council of Nnamdi Kanu, they spoke that they are starting on a good note. They are going to examine the evidence brought by the federal government because they brought somebody who was there, who claimed to be there. The person covered his face. When they arrested Nnamdi Kanu, they got some items from him. And Nnamdi Kanu confirmed the items they got from him. I told you before that they want to establish that he committed the crime in Nigeria. The crime that the allegation that was put forward to him, they want to establish that he committed the crime in Nigeria. However, where did they get him? They took him from Kenya. He came from UK to Kenya. They took him from Kenya to Nigeria. But the same Nigerian government wants to establish that he committed the crime. Golden Tulip Hotel in Lagos. They got into his place. They saw a place like studio. That was where he was broadcasting from. Me, I never heard this one before. Now my first time of hearing this one. Lagos, they do all those broadcasts. So let me read this finally from Ngozi Arabuize. There should not be any case at all against Nnamdi Kanu or Simon Ekpa in the first place by any country. These 2 individuals are freedom fighters for their people, Biafra. They have rescued their people from a Nigeria state that reintegrates known terrorists into their army, police, and security system. These reintegrated terrorists kill, maim, and displace indigenous Nigerians and Biafrans. The detention, trial, and abduction of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya is akin to a pattern of the Nigerian president, the defense chief, and other agents, include colluding with Finland to hunt and hurt innocent indigenous Christian Biafrans such as Samonekpa. This injustice, intimidation, and killing of Biafrans must stop. In Europe and America, Nnamdi Kanu and Samonekpa will be called patriots. In Africa, they will be called villains. So, May 2nd is the date. Let's see what, when after the defense counsel, that is Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, after they examine the witness, let's see how the federal government is going to establish that Nnamdi Kanu committed that crime in Nigeria. Let's see. Because that's the only thing holding them from nailing him. So how did I get here? You kidnapped me from a place. So you're not prosecuting me. How you gonna be now? You kidnapped me. You're not prosecuting me. You know, it's not possible now. You cannot be a judge. Well, the Nigerian army have said that don't broadcast IPOB activities. Okay? IPOB activities aside. They didn't say don't propagate Biafra. IPOB activities of IPOB. I earlier said that amongst many other groups, there are other groups that are also agitating for Biafra aside IPOB. IPOB is just a group. So the Nigerian government, through the chief of defense staff, should know that IPOB is a group agitating for Biafra. If they proscribe IPOB terrorists, they did not proscribe Biafra terrorists. Because Biafra cannot be a terrorist. If they proscribe terrorists, that means all of us here, where we are seated, we are all terrorists. The government is prescribed. So terrorists don't need to stay in the same country with other people that are not terrorists. Or we should go through rehabilitation, or they should rehabilitate us so that when they rehabilitate us, they'll bring us back to the system. Very, very funny. I believe that the sun, you cannot stop the sun from shining. When the time comes, the sun will shine again.